Achieving gender equality isn't just a moral issue, it makes economic sense. Equality between men and women in all aspects of life, from access to health and education to political power and earning potential, is fundamental to whether and how societies thrive. The most important factor in a country's competitiveness is its human talent. That's why the proper participation of half the world's population is so important for the well-being of both businesses and countries. Although we are getting closer to gender parity, change isn't happening fast enough. For the past decade, World Economic Forum has been measuring the pace of change through Global Gender Gap Report, and at current rates, it will take the world another 180 years to close the economic gap entirely. The World Economic Forum has been reporting on the gap between men and women in health, education, economic opportunity, and political representation. The gap has only narrowed by 4% overall. Although an additional 250 million women have entered the workforce, women are only now earning the amount men did in 2006. Is education the main issue? So how do you increase women's economic and political power? Are we on the right track? Women and men are equal. What do you think? Does women and men actually are equal? Education 2030 agenda recognizes that gender equality requires an approach that ensures girls and boys, women and men not only gain access to and complete education cycles, but are empowered equally in and through education. Despite progress, more girls than boys still remain out of school. Poverty, geographical isolation, minority status, disability, early marriage and pregnancy, gender-based violence, and traditional attitudes about the status and role of women are among the obstacles that stand in the way of women and girls fully exercising their right to participate in and benefit from education. The plan for gender equality in education revolves around the empowerment of girls and women for a more equal society. We believe that by addressing gender inequalities in the education sector, strengthening the communication of action for girls and women will contribute to addressing gender inequalities in society. The goal to end poverty in all its forms everywhere will not be achieved unless women are lifted out of poverty and able to exercise equal rights and opportunities to have access to land, decent work, resources, including services and social protection and technology. Girls who have no education are 3 times as likely to marry by 18 compared to girls with secondary or higher education. While it is not clear if child marriage causes school dropout or vice versa, it is clear that child marriage often means the end of a girl's formal education. But education alone is not enough to end child marriage. Thus, we need to address the root causes of child marriage: gender inequality, poverty, insecurity, and the lack of economic and social opportunities for girls. The strongest gender stereotypes for men were that they are more competitive, feel superior, and that they should be head of the household. Unfortunately, there are still majority of men in Middle East. Survey believe a woman's place is in the home. When women spoke up promotively, broaching positive ideas or solutions, their voices go unheard. There's a stereotype that women don't make good leaders, and yet there is actually increasingly large amounts of empirical research that women are evaluated more positively as leaders than men are. As conclusion, men and women enjoy equal rights in all walks of life according to teaching of Islam. Numerous verses of the Quran enjoin gender equality, which categorically proves that gender inequality is not faith-based. This verse clearly expounds that men or women are created from a single entity and are basically equal genders.
Created using Powtoon.